Welcome back. I'm Lisa, Passionfruit Arts Kitchen. Today we're cooking up a wonderful chopped vegetable salad, a quinoa salad full of culinary herbs from the garden. So you have just harvested a bunch of fresh basil from the garden, and you learned how to prune it back so it will grow as a bush, and now you wonder what to do with all this fresh basil. Well, today I invite you to join along with me as we make one of my most sought after recipes. This is not traditionally a basil recipe, but it is a fresh chopped salad, and it always calls for whatever herbs are in season. So since it is basil season, we are going to add the fresh basil to this quinoa salad. And traditionally it was called a tabbouleh, and it has morphed into a chopped salad that is full of fresh herbs and can be made a variety of ways. Quinoa is this small grain from the Andes, and it is packed with fiber and protein and nutrition. So this kind of salad is not so much about an exact recipe as proportions. So we're going to layer the ingredients in the bowl like so. If you don't eat grains, even though this is a gluten-free grain, if you prefer a grain-free salad, you can just make this salad without the quinoa, and it is just as tasty. The tabbouleh is a traditional grain salad from the Middle East, and my favorite Lebanese restaurant in Oregon serves an amazing tabbouleh that doesn't even have the cracked wheat, which it's traditionally made with. It's just the chopped herbs with a little bit of tomato and the lemon dressing. So many ways we can play around with this salad, and this is the most asked for recipe I get. So, long awaited. The secret, once again, is in the sauce, which is what I mean about fresh herbs. Don't skimp on the herbs. Just because you've been to a restaurant and they serve a little sprig of parsley doesn't mean that you can't use a ton of it. It's what makes it so good. Also packs it with nutrition. So we have all of our ingredients laid out. We've started with the cooked quinoa. Put in some freshly chopped carrot. So the thing about this layering technique is you just want to do one layer of each vegetable. But another secret is how you chopped your vegetables. So I'm taking this fresh carrot. The carrots, cucumbers, tomatoes, everything is ripe from the garden and farm right now. But the trick is, when you're eating a chopped salad, you want all of the vegetables to be the same size so that when you have a bite of the salad in your mouth, you get a taste of every vegetable. If you had really, really small carrots and then huge chunks of onion, it would be very unpleasant, and each biteful would have a different variety of vegetables. So, people ask, how do you get that salad so good? Well, julienne the carrots and chop into small cubes. Carrots are hard, and you don't want them to overpower the bite. Next, we will put in the cucumber, and the cucumber can be a little bit bigger, but once again, you want it to be a nice small cube so that it doesn't overpower. Although cucumber is softer and nice and cooling for this time of year, full of good hydration. So we'll just cut it like so, flat end down so it doesn't roll away, and nice small cubes. Next we have tomato. You want to slice with a serrated knife, a bread knife, or a small paring knife, especially when they're super ripe like this, so that they don't just mush while you're cutting them. And you can just cut them in small-ish cubes like this. This one's nice and juicy, so this will add to the sauce. There we go. Definitely juicy. Once again, just a layer, or you could even measure your ingredients in the size of a bowl. Next we have the red onion. And red onion, or any raw onion, even if it's a sweet one, can tend to be overpowering, so you especially want to slice it very, very, very fine so that it adds to the flavor and not too bitey. The trick to cutting an onion, which sometimes I forget, is have a cup of water next to you, and you can even put the water on your wrists so that the oils in the onion will catch into the water in your wrists instead of going up into your eyeballs. Ouch. So to slice really, really, really fine, take your time, control, and then if there's any little end bits that are big, just put those aside and save it for something else. Then you have these rainbow shapes, and you just want to go along the edge, turning your knife and your onions so get them all chopped finely. Oops, I missed one. It's stuck to the knife, so just go back, finish that up. This salad is so good, and it's a great thing to bring to a potluck, a picnic, a party. It's full of flavors, nutrition, and everyone seems to like it. Even my kids. You know it's good if my kids like it because they don't like this kind of healthy vegetable stuff, but must be the fresh herbs. Which brings us to the main star of this dish. Fresh chopped parsley. And yes, this is a lot of parsley. And like I said before, a traditional tabbouleh might be even just all parsley. So I have, see, look at this, I have already taken the parsley off of the stem. And I'm keeping this parsley in a cup of water. So I have removed the stems just by pinching off the leaves from the top of the parsley. So unlike cilantro, where you can chop up the whole leaf and the whole stem, parsley, you don't want to do that. You want to take the stems off. The stems are woody and they do not add flavor. They just add a texture you don't like. So it's kind of like magic to chop fresh herbs like parsley. This might be more than I can handle, but I'm gonna try it. You just kind of wad it up in a ball as if you have control over it, even though you don't really, and there's gonna be little leaves popping out. But you just wad it up in a ball and press your knife against this ball and just start chopping. And as the leaves come out, you fold them in. As they come out, you fold them in. And you go along like this, and then take the pile and turn it and do the same thing. You want to get a really nice fine chop, just like the vegetables. The herbs are really, they're just uncomfortable when they're big and you have these big leaves sticking out of your teeth. It doesn't add to the enjoyment of the salad. And when you chop them really fine, the flavors open up, the oils release, and then it spreads out throughout the salad. And so once again, in each bite, you get this cacophony of flavors. So this is a huge pile of parsley, and I very purposefully added a lot. Parsley is growing beautifully right now in the herb garden outside my kitchen window. And if you just harvest from the outside of the plant, you can get fresh parsley sprigs growing from the center. And so this is full of phytonutrients. And you know how I know that? Because it's staining my cutting board. It is green, it is packed with chlorophyll. It is so nutrient dense. It's like one of the most nutrient dense leafy greens. So if you want your vitamin K, your vitamins, minerals, magnesium, all of these really good, nourishing, and ultimately relaxing, feeding your nervous system. Parsley keeps you fresh, keeps you clean. There's a reason that they put a sprig on the plate at a restaurant besides for looking good. It cleanses your breath. So after you eat that fish or those onions, you chew on the parsley and it neutralizes your breath. So parsley, yay. And I'm still chopping. I want this super, super, super fine. And it's a little out of control because it's such a big pile. But trust me, it's worth it. It is the secret. And I mean, it was all fluff, right? So now that we've chopped it down, it's going to be a single layer on this salad, just like the other vegetables. It's going everywhere. Woo! So, parsley is the star, and we are going to lift up the green flavor of the salad with fresh chopped thyme, another savory herb that is highlighted in the summer. And it's the same thing as parsley. You want to just run down the stem and remove the little tender leaves. My thyme is flowering right now, and it's not even too bitter. It's quite nice, the thyme flowers. So you can just chop that up. And they're little leaves, they don't take long. We're getting wild here. All right, oregano is the next highlight. So my oregano is a little bit bitey right now. It's much milder in the early part of the season, so I'm going to skip the flowers on this one, just take a little bit of the leaves, and I'll probably add in a little bit of dried oregano at the end. So a little bit of this oregano, the summer oregano, will go a long way because it is quite pungent with the flavor. All right, so we are going to add the basil because it is basil season and it will lift this quinoa salad up. What I'm doing is just pinching the stems off of the basil and stacking them up in a pile like so. And then after I have made a pile, I am going to roll this pile of basil leaves and slice and turn and chop. Once basil is chopped, it begins to brown, so you're gonna get that nice green, fresh color from the other herbs. We could add a little bit of the fresh chives just because they are in the garden as well. And even though we did a red onion, this will add another layer. I think we'll put this in the dressing. Two ways to cut chives. You can just do this with a knife. You can also take kitchen shears or scissors. This is the French way to cut your chives. You can just snip them right in. Once again, you don't want these big, like, you know, you're eating something and you find this like big big chive in there. That's no good. You don't want that. You want it to be nice and subtle. Appealing. All right, fresh chives. And then of course, wherever there is basil and tomato, there must be garlic. So just taking a clove, smashing it with the side of a knife. And a couple ways you can do this. You can chop it up, or you can use my favorite handy dandy. My favorite type of garlic press is this round style. I don't know why, but it works so much better than the square one. And it just makes a beautiful, cut it off with a knife, beautiful mash of garlic. And even the skin in the end is usable. So we'll put in probably 3 cloves of garlic and fresh lemon juice. I have just squeezed this, and the fresh lemon really lifts the green herbal notes of this salad. This is a regular lemon and this is a Meyer lemon. Look at the difference. The Meyer lemons tend to be milder. You can remember Meyer for mild. Almost looks like an orange. So it would be designated as a little bit of sweeter. And I used mostly regular yellow lemons for this because we want that tart. So I am also going to measure this dressing by sight, and the proportions that work well in a salad dressing is equal parts acid to oil. So that was the lemon, and then we're going to use a really good quality olive oil. I ordered this one from Amazon, and it's a California olive oil, which is very, very full of wonderful flavors and depth. So give that a little stir. So we have the acid and the oil, and of course we need sea salt. And I'm going to put a lot of salt in here. This is a pretty tangy dressing, so it needs a good amount of salt. It also rehydrates you. It's a summer salad with the cucumbers, and you need to replenish the salts. So use a good quality Himalayan or Celtic sea salt so that you get your minerals replenished. I also like to balance the fresh herbs with a little bit of dried herbs, so I'm going to take a pinch of Italian seasoning. And whenever you're using dried herbs, you want to crush them up in the palms of your hands to release the flavor. A little bit of onion powder. Once again, it's all about the depth. I think I will use some more oregano since I didn't use too much of the fresh oregano. Crushing it up. Give it a stir. You may want to make the dressing first and let the flavors meld a little bit while you're chopping all of the vegetables for the salad. So whenever I make a dressing like this, I make it in a bowl or a cup and then pour it on and gently tossing, which bringing the spoon down to the bottom and just lifting and turning all the way around. And what I'll do now is let it sit for a few minutes and then taste a bite and then adjust the seasonings according to the bite. So you can see how the vegetables are all similarly sized. The the parsley is really taking over and it gives this lovely green hue. We'll serve this in a bowl. It's not easy to eat on a plate because it is so finely chopped. So you'd like to do a healthy serving in a bowl, and you can garnish it with fresh mozzarella. If you don't eat dairy, you can sprinkle a few nuts. Pine nuts go really well with this salad, or walnuts. And of course, we would like to highlight one of the stars. You can add the basil. It's always nice to do a last little sprinkle of lemon, and voila, we have my famous chopped vegetable herb salad I so lovingly refer to as the quinoa salad. And now you know my secrets, so you better pass them around so everyone can enjoy this as much as you do. Thank you so much for joining me in my kitchen. It's Lisa with Passionfruit Arts. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give me a like, and please subscribe to my channel because we have lots of fun making up all sorts of recipes to add some zest into your life.